If you feel like you have big dreams but you're not moving towards them, there's a high chance that the problem is not discipline, it's perfectionism. Because perfectionism doesn't make you work better, it makes you start later. Assalamu alaikum everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sada and I help people get into their self-love, self-development journey through sharing my writings, my experiences and everything in between. So let's get started. Today's video is really important because as a retired perfectionist, something that kept me stuck for the longest time was perfectionism. And no, I'm not talking about tiny details. I love tiny details. I love paying attention to details. But I'm talking about stuff that keeps us moving in circles and we never move forward because of it. So if you have faced a similar situation, this is the right video for you. Number one reason of how perfectionism kills your ambition is that perfectionism delays starting. If you're a perfectionist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We spend so much of our time in planning, in researching, and gaining information, gaining knowledge, but somehow the action that has to be done never takes place. The executing part of the process never happens, and that is exactly why we stay in the same place. Ambition needs momentum, but perfectionism convinces you that you're not ready yet, that you need to research more, you need to plan more, and you need to jot down each and every step along the journey, when in reality that's not possible. So sometimes things go other way and you're supposed to replan things, but perfectionism makes you think that if you just plan right now, if you just jot down everything right now, later your process or your journey will be so perfect that you'll not have to worry about anything, which is a lie, unfortunately. So what happens? Ideas stay in notebooks, your drafts stay unpublished, and you take months even before you begin starting. Now I'm able to say that I am a retired perfectionist, because that is what I like to call myself now. I realized how perfectionism was slowing me down. I started to let it go. It was not easy, to be honest, because a person who has been a perfectionist almost all their life up until now, it was really difficult. But I allowed myself to make mistakes. I told myself that if I mess up, it's okay, we'll still figure it out. And that is exactly what you need when you're starting. I also think there's this shame around starting something and then messing it up, when in reality, it should be so normal because you're not even aware what comes with that. You don't even know if the steps you're taking right now will be beneficial for you in the longer run. But somehow starting and messing up became such a weird thing to do because people start mocking you and then you get demotivated. But that is exactly the moment when you are supposed to have your back and tell yourself that if I mess up, it's still okay. The starting process will be chaotic no matter what you do, but you have to go through the chaos to finally have things running smoothly for you. Second thing is that you start working for people's approval and not your purpose. How many times has it happened that when you start something or when you're doing something, you keep on thinking that will people think this is good enough? Will that person think that I did well? Will this person think that I messed up? How many times has it happened? Multiple times, I suppose. That is what perfectionism does. It makes you forget and disconnect from the original idea. It makes you think about the external validation that you get and not something that is more meaningful to you. Instead of asking yourself that, is this work meaningful to me? You keep thinking, what will people think about it? And then slowly the originality of that idea is lost because now you're not focused on the idea itself, but what will be the reaction of other people. I think that is also one of the reasons why so many people leave something that they were once passionate about, because the meaning attached to it was lost. They constantly kept on thinking about other people's opinion instead of pausing and asking them if this is what I wanted to do. And even if it was something that they wanted to do earlier, through constant approval seeking, they got completely disconnected from that idea. So they end up abandoning it completely. You can do as much as you want. You can make other people happy through your work as much as you want, but until and unless you find meaning in it, until and unless you finally see a purpose in it, I don't think that you will ever be satisfied, because people's approval keeps shifting. Today they'll like this, tomorrow they'll like that. If you're completely dependent on their approval, your idea and your journey, basically everything that you do will keep on shifting. It will never be on the same track that it is supposed to be. You're working in alignment to their approval and not what this purpose demands you to do. Third, and my most favorite point, is that perfectionism makes small failures feel catastrophic. Like you've done something so wrong and you're supposed to be punished or something. As someone who used to drown in worry when I made the smallest mistake, this is exactly why I could not let go of my past mistakes until now, is because I kept on thinking that every mistake that I make, even the smallest one, was something that I'm supposed to be super ashamed about. I did not teach my mistakes as data, as learning data. I just kept treating them like failures, like proof, like evidence of how often I can mess up and how bad things can go. Perfection needs thousands of imperfect attempts, and I wish I realized this earlier. And honestly, I would have never started this YouTube channel if I kept on thinking that I need to be perfect to start. It was only when I let go of the idea of I'm not ready yet, I need to learn more, I need to improve my speaking skills more. Only then will I be able to start a YouTube channel and do what I'm doing right now. Once I let go of the idea of perfectionism and I said to myself that it doesn't matter if you're not perfect now, you will get perfect by doing this and not by just thinking about it. Perfectionism interprets every small mistake as data that you're not capable enough. It makes you treat your failures as proof that you will never be able to do the thing that you've always wanted to do. Allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to learn from them, and allow yourself to let go of perfectionism. Fourth point is that perfectionism turns learning into pressure. Real growth requires experimentation. Real growth requires you messing up maybe 1,000 times before you finally get it right. It requires awkward phases. It requires invisible progress. It requires visible progress. It requires you to experiment. But when you are working towards that needs your constant efforts, like on a daily basis, you will be making mistakes. You will be finding out ways that don't work for you. Perfectionism, on the other hand, removes the freedom to experiment. I think for the longest time, I tried to follow the blueprints of people that I didn't even want it to be like. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I think it was during the pandemic when following rich people's routine became a thing, or like super successful people's routine, and everybody was looking up when they're waking up what you are doing in the day. And I tried doing that, to be honest, but it did not work for me. Now that I look back, I realize that I did not want to follow their routine, trying to follow their perfect schedule so that I can be perfect as well, which is a good thing to some extent, I would say, because when you do things from people that inspire you, it helps you grow. And this is backed up by the idea of perfectionism that you cannot mess up and that you have to be perfect in whatever you do. I think that is when everything goes wrong, because that motivation will stay with you for like a week or two, but then you'll get back to your old habits. So instead of bullying yourself and telling that you're not capable enough, you're not good enough because you cannot get it right the first time, allow yourself to experiment. I've read so many people's success stories and they tried like hundreds of times before they finally made it. So what makes you think that you're not allowed to make mistakes? The successful people that you see today are the same people who were once trying and experimenting and increasing their knowledge about that particular subject so that they can be successful today. And without experimentation, that would have not been possible. Fifth point of how perfectionism kills your ambition is that you keep on focusing on things, you keep on spending time on things that don't even matter as much. As I said earlier, I love tiny details, but spending too much time on something that nobody would even notice, even you would not notice, is exactly how you kill your ambition. Instead of producing more work, instead of getting more things done, instead of making sure that you get done a certain amount of things that day, you keep on putting hours and hours of work into things that don't even matter. Keep refining that thing, you keep polishing that thing, and just like that, the entire day has gone and you have only accomplished maybe one thing, and then by the end of the day, you tell yourself that you can never be disciplined. When the problem was never discipline, it was always spending too much time on things that don't matter that much. No, I'm not telling you to put your 100% in the things that you do. I'm telling you to stop over exploiting yourself. All had that phase when we think that, okay, this work is good enough now, this work is nice, I think we can move forward, but somehow that perfectionism comes in between and says, no, you know what, it needs more work, it needs more refinement. And I know everybody has been through that because I have been through that too. But you need to let those thoughts go. Once you look at your work, whatever you're doing, know you've given your 100% and you know it's nice and you know it's good, leave it. Get on to some other work. This applies to our everyday life a lot. As I said earlier, we keep on planning but we never execute. The execution problem reflects here because you're not moving forward. Goal should always be to move forward during the day. For example, right now I'm making this video. I messed up like so many times. I kept fumbling on words sometimes, but I kept going, re-recording the previous things I said. So just do that. When you know you've put your 100% and you know it's nice, stop thinking about refining it more. Next point is that perfectionism creates an identity paralysis because you keep telling yourself if this work doesn't turn out nice, it means I'm not good enough. You keep tying your self-worth to the work that you've done. And people who tie their self-worth to the amount of work that they can do, quality of the work that they can get done, are exactly the people who stay stuck because most of the time you will not be moving forward at all. You might have not even produced your best work yet. You might not even have had the most amazing idea of your life yet. But somehow, because of a small mistake, you tell yourself that, oh, I'm not good enough and I can never be good enough because look, I keep messing up all the time. I think the biggest problem with perfectionism is that it makes making mistakes such a problem. As I mentioned earlier, it makes you think that if you made a mistake, the world is going to end. And I honestly thought that for the longest time, at least till my late teens. But that is exactly what happens. It keeps telling you that you're not supposed to mess up. And if you do, everything is going to end. But once you're on the other side, you realize that things don't work like that. And you have just been hard yourself for no reason at all. The seventh reason of why perfectionism kills your ambition is because it kills your consistency. Anything that you want to do, if you want to be successful at something, you have to keep repeating it. And as everybody knows, practice makes a human perfect. For growth in any area of your life, you're supposed to do it regularly. Ambition grows through repetition. Perfectionism makes every task feel exhausting and tiring. So what happens? You stop showing up regularly. Because now, instead of focusing on 2 or 3 steps a day, you are stuck in the first step itself, which is exactly why you cannot move forward. Something that I've noticed is when people talk about consistency, most of the time they're talking about how consistency is about doing everything perfectly every day. I think this idea is exactly why people stop being consistent. When they do something good on a daily basis, then one day they don't perform as good, they think that they're going backwards, which is not the case. Consistency never means that you're perfect at what you do. Consistency means that you get good and maybe you sometimes make mistakes and you get better again. And chasing perfectionism, in my opinion, is like chasing that one person that you need validation so badly from and you never get it. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you did not think that I was trying to make you feel like you should not try hard. You should try hard. As I said, I love tiny details. I love focusing on things that make my work better. But sometimes we overdo it. And sometimes we start exploiting ourselves. To be honest, I still struggle with perfectionism a tad now, but ever since I realized that ambition doesn't grow in perfect conditions, it grows in chaotic moments. It grows in imperfect attempts. It grows when you finally have the courage to start before you're even ready. That was it for today's video. I hope that you like it. I hope that you enjoyed it. If there's any other thing you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Till then, stay safe.